coming up on the next episode.
Good day, YouTube. Here with you at the computer today. This is Friday. As you can see on the screen in front of you, this is a 10 terabyte 7200 RPM 128 megabyte cache SATA 6.0 3.5 inch enterprise hard drive with a 5-year warranty renewed. Now, I don't know if I covered this already in another video, but I did. Well, I shouldn't say I did. The company bought this for me, as I am very quickly running out of space. You know, you buy a 3 terabyte hard drive, you think, oh, you know, it'll be a long time before that runs out, but as it turns out, no, it's not. What I did this arrived I shouldn't say in the mail. Via Amazon yesterday, and I do have it in the shipping station awaiting installation, and that's what we're going to do here in just a short bit, and I'll film that. Now, I think the only camera that I have available right now is the Amazon no-name camera that we did the little comparison on with the Boblov, but that should do for what we're doing here. It's not a big deal. Now, there's one thing I do want to mention, that this I tried yesterday. I don't know how many of you guys know this, but I have a hard drive hot swap type caddy in my living room computer here, and I can basically slide in pop it open, slide in a new drive, and boot up with that and do that if I need to. Now, I tried this drive in that caddy first, and it was unrecognizable. In other words, it just showed there's nothing there when I looked at the BIOS screen, and I did a G-parted scan of the drives attached to the computer, and nothing there either. So I got to looking online. Now, the drive itself came with a cable, and I was really not understanding exactly what the cable was for. However, since then I have done some reading, and I do completely understand that now. These newer drives, I should say, 2016, 2017, somewhere around in there, the SATA standard changed to include I don't know what they call it. I never can remember. Some kind of reset. But basically, it puts power on a pin to reset the newer hard drives. Now, the original SATA power cables in computers, since I've been doing computers and since SATA even came out, always has power on that pin. 3.3 volts, I do believe. Now, as such, if you stick this drive in here into a computer with a typical standard SATA cable, power cable, it will not boot up. It will not do anything, and that's exactly what happened when I slid it into my little hot swap drive or caddy. It doesn't show. So I got to reading again about the cable. What the cable does, it comes with it, is basically it doesn't have power on pin number 3 of that device. In other words, that it basically doesn't. It takes the input from the standard cable, and when it outputs into the new connector, there's no power on that pin. That's the simplest way to put it, I guess. So I did try this in the computer room back in, or the shipping department computer back there, and used the cable, and it does get recognized. Then it does boot up and stuff like that. So today what I thought we would do is basically go ahead and install it where it's supposed to be. That's into the Dell Optiplex 7020 mini tower system here in the living room, because that's where it's going to reside. So like I said, that's what we're going to do, and like I say, I don't want to overdo this, so let's just go back and do that right now, and we'll come back and show you what it looks like.
Hi, we are here today at the shipping department bench, desk, whatever you want to call it, to work on the Dell Optiplex 7020 system. I have a new hard drive, which is sitting right there, to install on this computer. Now, I've outlined all of what I'm doing here, I believe, in the previous segment, and so this is just going to be the hardware part of it, and we're just going to open it up, see what we got, and then go from there. So let's do that now. Pretty easy to get into these systems, as you can see. And we need us a little additional light, although this does a pretty good job of low light. Now, one of the things that I wanted to point out, and this was not clear to me, I'm going to see if I can set that up there, give us a little light without too much distraction. But the way the power distribution for the drives is, there's two basically lines coming out of this port here. This is power for the drives. These are all SATA connectors, and you can see one line runs over here, and there are two connectors here. Now, both of those are occupied or used, as it were, and so as such, then nothing has to be done down there. Where we're going to install the new drive is this bracket right here. I hope. I haven't actually tried to see if that will work, but if it will work, that's probably where we're going to install it. Let me get underneath a little bit more, see a little bit better maybe. That there is a bracket on this side. Now I think there's a, not really sure how that works. It may be a screw. You put a screw in there and pull that back through there until it gets into that, so you don't have to actually screw that side. But then this side has I think four holes for screws, and so that will be working there. That's not the important thing. The important thing is I have two power lines. Like I said, the one goes down below, this one here, and this one goes up above here. Both of these have two power connectors on them, and one of these goes up to the optical drive, which is up here, and this second one goes to the hard drive caddy that I put in. Now this is a slide in, slide out type caddy, hot swap, whatever you want to call it, and it goes here. So now this will be the connector that we take and use for this drive down here, but there's some additional wiring for this drive because of its nature. I hope I can explain all of that for you. But anyway, suffice to say, this is just going to be the hardware part of it, and we're just going to go from there and do that. So let me get the drive out and see how hard it's going to be, or easy, as the case may be, to install that into that separate bay there. Alright, we are back once again. Now I think you can see the hard drive has been installed. I'm going to give you a little wiggle test there. It's nice and steady in there. It's got one screw holding it right there. Then the bracket on the other side holds it in place pretty good. It's good and tight. It's not going to go anywhere. So looking at the back side, there's our connection points there. But in order to use a drive like this, it takes a special cable, and that cable is right here. It eliminates that pin 3 voltage. In other words, it puts 0 voltage on pin 3 and allows the drive to spin up and work. Now, I'm hoping once I get this done right, that I will not have to actually do anything else but put this drive in between. I'm going to put a Y splitter in here and power the caddy, the hard drive caddy, on the same line as this. And that way I can hook both of them up and have a total of 5 drives if you count the optical drive. There is a card coming today from Amazon, which will allow me to use one of these, and I know you can't see them down there below the video card, and we'll have to take that out and get a blocking plate in there. And like I said, but again, that's down below. It's a PCIe 1X connector, and that's what the card's for. And it does have 2 SATA ports on it, and as such, it will allow me to hook up the 5th drive, and that's not a big deal. But for right now, I'm going to wire it up just like I say with what's there, and use that cable so that this drive will boot, and I can get it all set up. By the time I get all that done, the card should be here from Amazon. They usually come in the afternoon, and so that should work out rather well, I do believe. So that's the plan. Let me get the cables all hooked up, and then we'll go from there. Alright, this is hard to see, so kind of stay with me here. I'll use the screwdriver to point this out. Now this is the original hard drive power connector from the motherboard that goes down to the pins that I showed you here, like these wires coming up here. And there is the special cable hooks into that and loops down around to the Y connector, which connects to here. So I think I got you all here. And there's the caddy wiring there, and the new hard drive there. Of course, the data connector I'm using from the motherboard, and like I said, when the new card comes in, it will be hooked up here. Let me see if I can get you a better light on that. Yeah, there, right there is where it will hook up. So that's the way that's going to work. Now, again, I can do that the other way around if I need to. It's not a big deal. We'll see how that works out. And so far, so good, I guess. But if everything works out like I hope it will, and it should, then we should be good to go, I think. So let me throw the cover on this real quick, and we'll take it back into the living room, hook it all back up to power, and see what we come up with on the screen. We'll probably do a screen recording of that, show you that stuff, and we'll go from there. So stay tuned.
Welcome back to YouTube here on this Saturday morning, 11:33, and this time is the time. Wanted to kind of show you how things ended up. Now I finished this up actually last night, but I wanted to wait until this morning for, because I have everything all set up now, and I want to show you what I've got. There on the if you see up on these shortcuts here, you got 2 terabyte, 3 terabyte, and 10 terabyte. Now those are the files that are the actual drives now that I do have set up on this computer. The 2 terabyte is a USB SSD drive. I bought that some time ago and had it on the shipping station computer for many months, but then I decided to move it in here. 3 terabyte drive is obviously the one I've had for quite some time now, and it runs off the little HP computer in the shop, and that is the remote NAS type memory I have. And of course the 10 terabyte is the new one, and we'll bring that up real quick, and you see it pops up. Now I noticed yesterday, because I have everything set up on this, I have the card installed now, the new SATA port card that gives me 2 more SATA data ports, and I have that hooked up to the new hard drive, the 10 terabyte drive, this drive here. And I did that for this reason, and because it works. This drive here will never ever need to boot. This is a storage only drive. Again, 10 terabytes. You don't really want to be running an operating system on that. But anyway, like I said, and I have one folder on it. This happened here when I booted into Windows. I do have the Windows hard drive back into the hard drive caddy, which I had taken out to try to boot this up, but this didn't work, and I hadn't put it back in yet. So now it's back in. Everything is hooked up. I actually have a total of 5, and I won't say hard drives, 4 actual hard drives hooked up to the internal ports of the computer. But there's one is an optical drive, and that hooks up to the SATA port also of the internal computer. So I probably could run that off of the card. I'm not really sure. It probably would work. But I figure this drive's just as good to run off that as any of them because it will work just the same anyway. But anyway, so I have now, like I said, 5 total SATA hard drives, or not hard drives, but drives hooked up in this computer. And we'll go through them really one at a time. This is the first one, obviously the 10 terabyte. Now this is the one I run my system on here in MX Linux. This is a 500 gigabyte hard drive. Let's see if I can bring up the properties on that. And you can see 457.1 gigabytes. I don't know why they never come out to 500, but that's just the way they come up. But this is a 500 gigabyte drive. Now the third drive I have hooked up is the Caddy drive, which is this Windows drive here, 159. That's actually a 160 gigabyte hard drive, and again that's in the hard drive Caddy. I keep that in there because I may want to swap out something or something like that. I don't run Windows that often, but what I was starting to point out was the fact that these two files here, or folders I should say, recycle bin and system volume information, were put on there by Windows. When I booted into Windows and tried this drive out, I want to make sure it worked over there. It did. But they added this, that operating system adds these 2 folders to it for some reason. I don't know why, but they do. Not a big deal. They don't really contain anything, I don't believe. Well, there's a recycle bin, I guess. It's got something. Yeah, there's something in there, but again, that's not a big deal. You could do without it because this stuff is nothing to Linux at all. It's only pertains to again, Windows. All right, so that Windows drive was the third drive, and that is these two here. I have them partitioned into, actually it's a 500 gigabyte drive, and they're partitioned into 250 gigabyte partitions, and that way I have 2 more operating systems I run. One runs the Linux Lite, and the other one is Manjaro Linux. So I just kind of like to play around with stuff like that. That's just something to do. George mentioned I was answering his comments right before I started doing this, that I was busy. And yeah, I try to stay busy in here doing something unless I'm sleeping or eating. And generally when I eat, I watch a video or something like that. But generally I try to stay busy and not waste time doing nothing. I kind of tend to go crazy when I'm just sitting here doing nothing. And so anyway. But anyway, that's all 4 of the drives. I should point it out. The 10 terabyte is 1. The 160 gigabyte is 2. The actual drive that I'm running on is 3. And this drive here is 4. So that's 4 hard drives, actual hard drives that's hooked up to this system. And then you have, again, the fifth port is being used by the optical drive. So I do have all of them available now, and they are working as designed. Again, I have them up here on the shortcuts. If I want to get to anything up here, I can. And I can do that. And I can go to the 10. I already showed you the 10. Here's the 2. Oops, there it is. But anyway, like I said, that's just what I wanted to show you, that it is working and working as designed, I guess, or whatever. I don't have a lot on the 10 terabyte, and I will be adding things to it, obviously. But again, like I said, that's it for now. I want to go into the shipping station department now and show you that computer and show you that it is, we can access those drives in there. So let's go in there and check that out. All right, we are back in the bedroom now in the shipping station computer, and we want to check that out, make sure everything is accessible into this. I've already done this video once, but apparently the microphone was not working. I do have that set up working now. I've tested it, make sure. Let's bring up our file manager here, and we'll take this over here and look at it. Now, under browse the network, or well, under network, I should say, you browse the network. That brings up all the drives on the network. Like I said, the one we're interested in, these 3 here. Now, these are all on the Dell Optiplex 7020 in the living room. Now, the home is the one I changed around. It used to say Samba Share, I think, or something like that. But now it's the whole home directory. I can go in there and look at that. And that is everything on that computer that's basically saved to, I can go on to the, where's it at? Desktop, there it is. And there's the desktop file folders that I have in there, and all that stuff is accessible. Obviously, anything that I've done as far as my pictures that I sometimes do with color paint and save them here, those are all available now as well. The many videos that I save to the local hard drive are there. So again, all of that is available now to me on that computer. So, and also the 2 terabyte hard drive, the little SSD drive, that is all available. Again, you can see the recycle bin and the system volume information. The rest of it is what it is as far as you can see all the images there. You know, all that stuff is available just like I was sitting at the other computer. So I like that. Same way with the 10 terabyte. And we'll bring up audio, MP3s. Let's bring this up like I want it with SM Player.
One morning I woke up and I knew.
Alright, you can see they do play. Like I said, it all works just fine and everything is cool. I like it. And let's go back into the living room computer now and finish this up. There you go. That's done. That'll do it. And you guys have a great day. Thank you so very much for watching. And we will